And says, following the engagements between the federal government, TUC, and NLC, with the intervention of the Speaker, House of Representatives, to resolve the disputes that arose from the withdrawal of subsidy on PMS, the following resolutions were reached. 1, the federal government, the TUC, and the NLC to establish a joint committee to review the proposal for any wage increase or award and establish a framework and timeline for implementation. 2, the federal government, the TUC, and the NLC to review World Bank Finance Cash Transfer Scheme and propose inclusion of low-income earners in the program. As you are aware, the $800 million loan did not really capture the low-income government workers. So we basically will be talking about how to include them in that scheme. 3, the federal government, the TUC, and the NLC to revive the CNG conversion program earlier agreed with labor centers in 2021 and work out detailed implementation and timing. 4, the labor centers and the federal government to review issues hindering effective delivery in the education sector and propose solutions for implementation. 5, the labor centers and the federal government to review and establish the framework for completion of the rehabilitation of the nation's refineries. 6, the federal government is to provide a framework for the maintenance of roads and expansion of rail networks across the country. All other demands submitted by the TUC, and that's the 7th, all other demands submitted by the TUC to the federal government will be assessed by the joint committee. So consequently, ladies and gentlemen, the parties agreed as follows. 1, the NLC is to suspend the notice of strike forthwith to enable further consultations. 2, the TUC and the NLC to continue the ongoing engagements with the federal government and secure closure on the resolutions above. And finally, the labor centers and the federal government to meet on June 19th, 2023, to agree on an implementation framework. So this communique is signed by... There are midterms.
Come with a more concrete reality and framework and alternative. The CNG alternative is better than the price even before the increment. Yeah, but if you check countries of the world like Kuwait, like Qatar and others, which large gas deposit, you will agree with me that it's a very viable alternative because the deposit here can sustain the country for the next 500 years. It's a clean energy, eco-friendly, and cheaper. I think the whole battle we are having now is the issue of the cost being at 500. And by our last meeting, during Silver's time, we were talking about 90 naira. So if this government achieves an option or alternative that is even under 90 or 120 or whatever, I think every one of you will be clapping for them. So it's the willpower, to achieve this. So very viable alternative is done all over. So what we need is the willpower. And if we achieve that, I think there will be, a lot of success, a lot of progress so made. I believe that what we need is for them, to work unlike what we experienced before. By now we should have gone far.